Hey everyone, Steve here. How's everyone going? Well, I've got another video today and it's on the product behind me here now. But first, before I get into it, I just thought I would tell you straight off the bat right now that this video is going to be a teardown of this battery here. But I'm not judgmental on the battery or anything like that. I've had this battery nearly for 3 years now, and it stopped working about 12 months ago. And I've had it sitting in the back of the shed, and I'm just going to go through the reasons what I'm doing today and why I'm doing it, because there's a little bit that led up into it. I've had my new battery system in my car now for a little bit over 12 months, just over 12 months now, and that'll be a review I'm going to do soon. But today I thought I may as well tell you why I originally changed, and I never really got into it. And the reason was this battery here behind me stopped working, and it was probably just about getting on nearly 2 years old when it did stop working. I'd had a couple of minor things. It had lost its charge a couple of times previously, probably 12 months after I bought it. I was out camping somewhere with a group of mates, and I had my travel buddy oven going in the morning. I was heating up some scones or something like that, and it had been running all night. We'd had a bit of cloudy weather, a bit of rain the night before, and I happened to look at the battery percentage inside my car. I don't know whether I still got the little box that I had with it. I should have been a bit more prepared. I have got it in here somewhere, but I just can't find it. Oh, I know, I'm actually using it in the camper now. I'll take a photo of it and put it up on the screen. I had one of those little Itechworld, that's the battery too. It's the Itechworld 100 amp hour. There it is there. That's the battery I originally bought nearly 3 years ago now, and it's been sitting in the back of the shed here for about the last 12 months. And I had one of the Itechworld little battery monitors that I had installed when I first bought the battery, and did the install in the FJ, and I'll put a little bit of footage up and show you that. I was really proud because I made a set of drawers and boxes and everything in the back of the FJ just to fit it all in. And the reason I originally went with this battery was I was very new to lithium at the time. I had an AGM battery in the front of the car, and you learn. These were just sort of, when I first bought this, lithiums were still really expensive, and they still are, but they've come down a lot in price, and I didn't know a lot about them. So I thought 100 amp hours, back of the FJ, just running the fridge, not much else, and I thought I'd be right. I couldn't have been so more wrong. Hindsight's a great thing when you're starting out, and one of the best bits of advice I could say to you, if you think you need a 100 amp hour battery, go buy a 200. You can never have too much power, and as long as you can get enough solar or enough power to put back into it, that's the other thing you got to look at. How much power can I replace with what I'm using? That's what you really need to look into. And because my camping things changed, I was running 12 volt ovens, I was running lights, I was charging up camera batteries to do with my GoPro, with my YouTube channel, drones, all sorts of things. And I just don't think this battery was heavy enough to do that. I don't know why it stopped working. I contacted Itechworld. They're really helpful when I did contact them and spoke to their technical crew. They told me how, because it went flat. It was just showing 11.8 volts or something like that, and it shut down. I found out how to restart it and got it charged up again. We're actually out camping with the mates, and the guy had a 240 volt charger, and we got it kicked back up and running again, and had it out in the sun all day, and got it all charged up again. Away it went, and it was pretty good again for another 6 or 7 months. I used to really madly check the voltage meter in the back of the car all the time. One of the things that I didn't know when I bought this battery, which I do know now, I actually prefer a battery that's got a built-in Bluetooth BMS. This hasn't got a built-in Bluetooth BMS. The only way you can know your battery percentage and voltage is with having a shunt on there. Now, I had a shunt on it. I also went and bought I bought this later on because I thought this would be better, because I wasn't happy with the Itechworld shunt and display they had, because I had to walk around to the back of the car all the time and have a look at the voltage, and I wanted something that I could connect to my phone, so I went out and bought one of these BMS Pro battery check shunts, and they're Bluetooth enabled, and I just hooked that straight up to the battery. Now, it was great for a while, but what I found was the battery was just starting to lose charge all the time. It went flat 2 more times. I restarted it. I couldn't get it to hold a charge, and it was nearly getting on over 2 years, nearly getting to 2 years, I think it was, that the battery, since I originally purchased it. And in the meanwhile, I decided to pull it out of the car and put in my new Renogy 200 amp hour lithium battery, which is going fantastically. And I pulled this all out, and I also changed the back of the car, the setup too. Like, I got rid of all the drawers. I was trying to cut weight down. I just realised the car was too heavy. I actually have got a GVM upgrade in the car now as well, and I decided to change my whole setup in the back of the car. I got rid of all the drawer systems out of there, everything, took off rock sliders. I really got the weight of the car down a lot, and it really helped out. You learn a lot when you're doing this stuff. You go mad and you buy stuff and you do stuff, and then you think later on, why did I do that? All I'm doing is creating more problems, especially if you're towing or stuff like that, and that's what I want to do. So we're getting into a caravan soon, next year actually, and I wanted to get the car as light as I could by changing a few things around, and changing the battery setup was one of the things I needed to do, because I wanted to have more power, be able to run a few more things, and still be able to charge up cameras, run Starlink, all sorts of stuff like that, even run coffee machines, just for a bit of luxury and stuff like that. But this battery was never going to be big enough. I probably would have sold it if it was still going, or used it in, maybe put it in my little teardrop camper. That was my idea. I was going to put it in the teardrop camper, but unfortunately I just can't get it to hold the charge. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to pull it apart, because I'm really interested in what the inside of this battery looks like. Now, getting back to Itechworld, like I said, I'm not here to bash them. They've got some fantastic products. I've still got one of their little battery packs that I use all the time, and their solar panels and all that sort of thing. They're absolutely fantastic. I did contact them and arranged over a year ago. I was going to get this picked up, and I was reading through some of the contract stuff and things like that with their conditions and terms and conditions, and I said if there was any damage to the battery or anything like that, the warranty would be null and void. And I did know that I had a tiny little bit of damage on the top of it here. Now, what happened was, where I had it in the car, when I was removing it from the car there one day, I put a spanner on that wasn't actually just right, was trying to get it undone, reefed it too hard, and broke off this little plastic divider that was just through the center here. So that's damage. And the other thing too, it had 2 handles on here that clipped onto here, and you used to be able to lift it up to pull it out of where you had it. I reefed on it there one day, and this center section here, I don't know whether the glue was right or whatever, but it cracked right through there. I did glue it up and put it back in again, but unfortunately, reading their thing, I never rung them and asked them. I probably should have, but it's too late now. The thing's out of warranty, so I don't expect them to take my judgment on it, but that's how it happened. But sorry guys, but I decided not to send it back to you, just on the off chance that then I was going to end up being told that it was null and void under warranty. So I just decided to throw it in the back of the shed and cut my losses. So that's what happened. But now I'm going to pull this apart and have a look at it and see if I can see anything that's wrong. My feeling is that it's got a bad cell in it. Knowing a little bit about lithium batteries now, we just recently at work had trouble with a little electric forklift we got. It had a battery placed in it less than 12 months ago. And anyway, the technician came out, the forklift just stopped working the other day and wouldn't charge. And the technician came out and had a look at it. And it had like 9 cells in the lithium battery setup in this forklift. So they're all connected in series or parallel or whatever you want to call it. And one of the cells had died. So it wouldn't hold a charge. So all the others were struggling to maintain the voltage to keep the forklift running. I've got a feeling that's what's wrong with this. I reckon one of the cells, I don't know how many cells are in here. I don't know what's in it. Now, be mindful, lithium batteries are quite dangerous. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this apart, have a look at it, put it all back together, and I'm going to take it to a proper place that takes lithium batteries and get them to deal with it so that it's no danger to anyone. But it has been sitting in the shed. I was all prepared to send it back. I still had the original box that it come in, everything like that, but I just decided not to worry about it. So it's no fault of Itechworld themselves. It's probably all mine. So I'll take that as my responsibility. I'm not bagging them out in any way. Like I said, I've got one of the little power boxes and their solar panels. I've had absolutely no trouble with it at all. It goes with me all the time. Absolutely fantastic. So, and I know there's a lot of other people out there that run these bigger batteries and all that sort of thing and don't have any dramas with them or anything like that. You're always going to have things that go wrong with things at times, but unfortunately, I think I've had one. All I was doing all the time I had this running in the car was basically just running the fridge, my Ingle 40 litre fridge in there all the time, and I was using my Travel Buddy oven all the time. So who knows? Let's get into it and get this broken down. Now I'll bring the camera back over. Now what I'm going to do is, I think this top piece here is all glued down, so I'm going to get a screwdriver and put in there, pop the top off, and then once I get that off, I'll show you what it looks like inside, eh? Cheers everyone, thanks for watching. Okay, I've been working away at this for about 10 minutes. I got a spatula, a bloody paint scraper in there a minute ago, and a little knife blade, and I run all around the edge. I've managed to crack all the seal on this, so let's have a look. I'm going to pull the top off now and see what happens, eh? Yep, all the glue's come off. Wow. There you go. I'll bring the camera over here in a sec and show you a little bit more on the top. But you got your positive, your negative wires running through there. They look pretty reasonable size there. So for a 100 amp hour battery, looks pretty good. It looks pretty neat and tidy in there as well. I'll get the camera. Here we go. Okay, so let's have a look in the top here. So like I said, positive, negative. The wires look reasonably big for their size there. On the top here, it looks like 4 cells. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 lithium cells. Bits of styrofoam jammed down in the side there, the ends to stop it moving around. So it is quite secure in there. BMS is on the other side here, so we won't be able to see that till we pull the battery out. But they got little bits of glue on that on the top of the bolts there, so you can obviously see if it's been tampered with or pulled apart. So my warranty is definitely null and void now. But what I'll do is I'll pull this out, show you what it looks like with the BMS and all that, and then what I'll have to do is I've got a multimeter over here, and I think I'll just test every cell and see whether they've all got a voltage, because when the guy did the forklift the other day, every battery cell had a voltage except for the one that was damaged, and the one that was damaged was showing a lower voltage than the rest, and that's how he knew there was one cell damaged. I suppose I could get online and see if I could buy another cell if one's damaged, but let's not jump to conclusions. It could be the BMS, but my feeling is it's one of these cells in there, so I'll have to try and get these bits of foam out of the end here. I don't know whether they're glued in or whatever, and see if I can pull this centre part out. Once I get that out, I'll show you what it looks like, eh? Cheers. Okay, I've got it out. It was a little bit of a mission. Once I got that styrofoam block out, I just pushed it to one end because there's a little bit of room in there then, and then I pulled it out. So you can see the BMS here. I don't know what brand it is. There's the serial number there for all you tech guys who want to look it up. EJ04SRC for Rev 11. So you can have a look at that. I have no idea what it does. I assume it just manages all the battery charging information and everything like that. I did pull this little wire here out. It was connected into there just to, that just clips back in again. Like I said, everything's got this little glue stuff on it, so I suppose if you pull it apart it breaks the seal, and then they know you've been at it. If it goes back to the factory, there is another little port up there. I don't know what that one is, whether that's a temperature sensing module or something like that. There's plenty of gurus out there, but it's like I said, 4 cells. I did pull this off too when I just pulled it apart. It's just glued on, so it was just had some double-sided tape on the back there. I'd come off when I pulled it apart, so you can see it's 4 cells, and they're just all taped together. So if you ever wondered what was in one of these batteries, I suppose the bigger batteries are just the same, just probably different cells, and that's everything that's in it. So anyone that's got any technical knowledge or whatever wants to put a comment down and tell me what they think of it, let me know. I'm going to disconnect all these now, and once I do that I'll show you the results on testing the charge in each of those cells. But pretty basic, not much to it. Batteries, the board, a couple of bits of rubber, and an empty case, and $1,000 at the time. I think they're not that much now. So okay, I'm going to undo all these bolts, take a photo of it first so I know where everything goes back, and then well, I've got it on video anyway, haven't I? So I don't need to do that, but I'm going to undo all these bolts now, and I'll show you the results of testing each of the cells. There's no use doing it now because the voltage, if I put it on the plus or the minus, it's going to give me the voltage, which is, it's not showing correct because it's not holding a charge. So let's see what each individual cell voltage is, eh? Cheers everyone. Stop. Okay everyone, I've got all the bolts off, as you can see. They're all in a pile down there. There's the board there again, just glued on. I haven't unbolted it off that. Now I actually have tested it. I know what the problem is, and it was what I thought. There is a bad cell on here, so I'll set the camera up. Now I'll just show you how I know this. So on the end of here, it's given you the serial number of one of these cells and tells you how many volts it should be. 3.2 volts, LiFo 04, whatever it is. So each one of these cells should be 3.2 volts. When you connect them all together, you get your, what is it, 13 volts or whatever, 13 point whatever volts. So that's how you get your voltage for your 12 volt thing, and they should be able to hold a charge. Now the other thing, like I was talking there earlier, which when I first started and didn't really know a lot about batteries, I'll get back here so you can see my head. Let me turn that camera up. When I was using that Itechworld little battery meter, it does give you a percentage thing on it, but I think it sort of reverted back to the actual voltage all the time. And you do have to look at the percentage of a lithium battery, not the voltage, because they will hold their voltage right till the fact that they nearly go flat. So it'll stay 13.2 volts. I think I did a video there when I first got it, and I said, oh, you know, I've had the fridge running all night and it's hasn't gone below 13.4 volts. It won't. The battery might be down to 20%, but it might still show 13.2 volts. And then when it gets to 10%, then all of a sudden the battery voltage will drop right off because it runs out of charge. So really important to have a good shunt, whether that's a red arc one, which I happen to have a spare one here. So that's a proper red arc shunt, or one like my BMS Pro, which is Bluetooth enabled. So you can actually put this onto your negative or your positive and download an app, and it'll tell you what the battery is doing. I prefer a battery now, like I said, that's got an inbuilt Bluetooth thing. I don't know whether the car there is close enough, but let me have a look. Yep. So I've just hooked into my Renogy app, and there you go. The battery in the car is at 92%, and present voltage 13.4 volts and 200 amp hours. It's got 184 amp hours left in it, 92%, and it's currently putting in 4.1 amps. That's what I love about batteries, that have got their own inbuilt BMS that's Bluetooth enabled. You can see all the stats, and also, let me just reconnect back into this again. You know how many cells are in that battery in the car? There's 4 cells, and they're all 3.3 volts. So there's 4 cells in this one, and they should be 3.2 volts. So if one of those cells happens to collapse in that car, it'll tell me on the app, and I'll know exactly what's wrong with that battery. I don't have to pull the whole thing apart like this and show you. But let's get the camera down on top now, and we'll show you the screen on here, and we'll connect it to it and show you what it looks like. So let's swap the view and show you down on top of the battery here. Okay, hopefully you can see the voltmeter down there. So let's connect it to this back cell here, positive on positive, negative on negative, 3.32 volts. Connect it to this one, 3.31 volts. So they're at their correct voltage. 3.31 volts. Now mind you, this battery has been sitting in the back of the shed for over 12 months, not on a charge, and all those cells are still at their correct voltage. Let's go to this last one here. It's stuffed. The voltmeter has no idea what it's doing. It's saying 176.1. It's going all over the place. So that cell there has collapsed. So 3.32, 3.32, 3.32, no idea. So there's the problem. As I thought, a bad cell. I'll just swap this camera back up here again now. Put it over there, and so there you go. It was what I thought it was, knowing a little bit more about batteries now, and it's got a bad cell. I could possibly get online and see if I can buy another one of these cells. I'm pretty sure you can buy these cells and put this battery all back together, and then maybe nothing wrong with it. The only trouble is, I've heard you shouldn't put a brand new cell with old cells, so that's probably the only reason I won't do it. I just don't think it's worth spending any more money on, just on the off chance that it does work. I don't need it. Anyone got a battery out there that's had the same problem and wants 3 good cells, let me know. You can have them. So that's about it. That's the teardown of the 100 amp hour Itechworld battery. Like I said, I'm not bagging out Itechworld or anything. These things can happen to anyone. We had it happen to us at work the other day with a electric forklift. They replaced the battery and it's not even 12 months old, and one of the cells collapsed on it. It just, as they say, shit happens. I probably should have sent it back or contacted them and just found out, because I was a bit worried about the damage to the top of the battery there, and I thought I couldn't see the sense in sending it all the way over to Western Australia and then them to tell me that no, there's damage on the battery, blah blah blah. I should have rung them up. It's my fault. I take full responsibility for that. Like I said, I've used one of their I've got one of their solar panels and a little battery pack. Had no trouble with it at all. I bought it at around the same time. It's been absolutely fantastic. We take it with us everywhere. The only reason I didn't go with another one of their batteries was because it didn't have the built-in Bluetooth BMS that you could check with a phone. I've had an Enerdrive one, I've got a Renogy one. Most of the new batteries now that come out have them. For some reason, I don't think Itechworld have put a BMS that you can check with an app or anything in any of their batteries yet. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. But and until they do, I won't look at them again. That's the only reason. Their little power bank that I've got, it does give you all that, the battery percentage, everything on a little screen, so you can look it up. But with these, you can't. You need a shunt. I don't think they're that reliable. So that's my reasoning behind it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's just my personal opinion. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed. If you've got any questions, queries or comments, leave them down below. I hope you've enjoyed this little teardown of this little battery. I'm glad I know what's wrong with it now. I may go look online and see how much these cells are. But stay safe, look after each other, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone.